All right, great. So we got our meeting recording here. So real quick, just want to preface this video and what the intent is behind this. So Mr. James here has contacted our firm, AnnuityAssociation.com, in reference to an annuity that he purchased a little over a year ago from someone that he knew that was a family friend. And while that gentleman probably does offer annuities, based on my understanding of Mr. James's goals and purposes after talking with him for about an hour or so, the annuity that he purchased or that he was sold was not the right one for him and his defined objectives. So what we're doing today is helping Mr. James get some clarity on what he has, what annuity he purchased, what the potential it is to meet his objectives, and then giving him some ideas on maybe some ways that he can at least improve this situation, both near term and long term. So, Mr. James, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir.
Great. Thanks for joining. First I want to start our meeting off with, really, I don't know if apologizing is the right thing since we're not really responsible for what happened here, but I apologize on behalf of our industry because I will tell you that too often we hear of these types of scenarios where, you thought you could trust somebody that was supposed to be acting in your best interest, but because of one reason or another, they didn't get you into the right product that was that you had to find in terms of meeting objectives for your financial future. So for that, I apologize, but that really is the point of our meeting today, is to show the difference in working with an agent or advisor that wears many different hats, meaning they're not a subject matter expert in any one field of finance. They do everything. They manage maybe stocks and bonds and create portfolios. They say they do financial planning. Maybe they dabble in real estate and have a real estate license. But of all of the things they do, they're not a subject matter expert in any one. And that's the difference in buying your annuity from someone that claims to do everything versus buying an annuity from a firm that only specializes in annuities, which is what we do here. So the goal for us meeting today, Mr. James, is to really help you understand what you have, maybe provide some advice on what you can do to make the situation better, and just answer any general questions that you might have about your annuity so that you better understand it and maybe have some clarity on, the future here. So what we're going to do is just kind of highlight real quick what Mr. James's objectives were for this annuity. Can you spend some time on that, Mr. James, on terms of what you were hoping this annuity would do for you?
I wanted the annuity to give me legacy for the family.
Okay.
Because I didn't need income. I don't need income at this time because I receive a pension. So I wanted to leave some legacy for the family and growth and safety. So I wanted to hit those three headlines. And that's what I wanted the annuity to do for me and my family.
What'd you do for a living?
Law enforcement.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service to your community. And so with that being said, you have a pension.
Yes,
That pension covers all of your essential expenses in retirement, correct?
correct.
And so really the goal of this money was really to give it purpose for legacy, to leave to your loved ones. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So, in regards to purchasing an annuity for that defined objective, there are many annuities out there that can play that role and help someone looking to leave a legacy and do so without taking unnecessary risk, to get it. So unfortunately, I do hate to inform you, which we've already discussed prior to recording this. We have discussed that the current annuity that he was put into does not serve the legacy goals, at least to the highest potential possible. It can obviously pass on a death benefit. It can obviously grow based on the indexes and things that are provided, but the sole purpose, or at least by design, the annuity that Mr. James was put into is designed for income. It has a income benefit. And not to mention, this income benefit has a mandatory deferral period of 10 years. So even if Mr. James had a need for income because he did retire and he didn't have this pension, this annuity, you can't even activate the lifetime income stream for 10 years. So overall, it's the wrong annuity any way you look at it. So let's go ahead and share my screen here, and we'll dive in. Can you, before I do that, Mr. James, can you tell me really like what you were sold on this annuity? Like, how was it communicated to you that it would help you? Like, what was it? Why did you buy this one? Can you tell me that?
The reason I bought it because I was sold on the bonus, the 30% bonus. I didn't know that it was going towards the income value. I thought it was going towards my main value to increase my account value. But it was sold on in reference to you getting the bonus, you're getting the bonus, you're getting the 30% bonus. They give me 30% just to sign. So that's how it was sold to me, because you're going to get the 30%. Then in later on in life, if you want the income value to kick on, if you needed income, we could turn it on in a couple of years. It wasn't explained to me that I had to wait 10 years to turn on the income value. So that's how it was sold to me.
Right. So really, I understand that. And that's something that we hear a lot. And if you watch any of our content videos out there on our YouTube channel or on our website, one of the things that I say quite a bit is don't get all set on the bonus. The bonus is, in most cases, about 99% of the time, it's marketing fluff. It's so some agent or advisor can host a bad chicken dinner seminar, invite people out to their office or what have you, and all they do is pitch this one or two particular products that have these lofty bonuses. But most people don't understand that, you know, these bonuses usually are only applicable to an income benefit account. It's not ever withdrawable as a lump sum. And in addition to that, I come from, you know, an old school mentality that there's no free lunch in this world. If someone's giving you a bonus, they're pulling from other areas of the contract to give you that bonus. You know, these insurance companies operate on very minimal margins. They can't just give out free money. And so in that case, when you hear of these really lofty bonuses, you really have to take it with a grain of salt and make sure you're working with an expert that can not only show you this one product with a bonus, but they should be giving you at least a minimum of 3 other options to consider, compare and contrast, that are maybe competitive with that one product or comparable in some way. That way you're making a well-rounded decision. I will tell you, anyone watching this video today, if you're working with an advisor and they're showing you one product and they're showing you a product with a high, too good to be true bonus, and that's all they show you, you need to run. And I'm not trying to scare anybody here, but why are they only showing you one product? There's hundreds of these annuities available. Hundreds. And most advisors don't have the time or the resources to sift, sort, compare, analyze, and understand the hundreds of annuities available. And so what do? They pick 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most that they keep in their briefcase. And those are the only 1, 2, or 3 that they show every single client that comes and walks through their doors or meets with them on Zoom or wherever. And so they become an expert, if you will, on the 1 or 2 or 3 products maybe. And even then, I would probably challenge that they don't know those 2 or 3 products in depth the way we know the various hundreds. But that's all they push, and they position those products. And that's why we say that 99% of the time annuities are sold, they're not bought. In order to buy it, you have to have enough understanding and to make an informed decision to where you're transitioning and shifting to wanting to buy something. And most annuities are sold. And how they're sold, the marketing fluff, the bonus. Hey, Mr. James, you buy this annuity today, and this XYZ insurance company is going to give you a 30% bonus. And that's how they're sold. And I hate that about our industry. It's wrong. And I feel for people that, have buyer's remorse. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. James, but it sounds like you fall into that camp. You have buyer's remorse in some capacity. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, enough of my rant. I appreciate your time joining. What we're going to do is go over your statement here. And then, we'll look at some options to see what we can do to help you, moving forward. If you decide that you want to keep this annuity, or maybe in the future, we may look at some options to get you out of this and get you into something better. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know when you can see it, Mr. James.
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So, the unfortunate event that Mr. James went through, the annuity involved in the situation was a popular annuity on the marketplace. It's the Allianz 222. It is a fixed indexed annuity with a lifetime income rider. And it's what we call a performance-driven income rider. So in order for the income value to grow over time during that 10-year mandatory waiting period, the indexes have to perform. And in order for them to perform, typically, the markets need to perform. And in addition, in the event the indexes do perform, then the protected income value, which is what the income benefit is based off of, will grow and receive a multiplier of 150% of every indexed interest credit that comes into the account's value. So if the indexed interest that comes in for any given crediting term is, let's say, 5%, they take that 5%, multiply it by 150%, and then that protected income value account is credited the net number of after that calculation, which in that example would be 7.5%. Okay. When Mr. James purchased this annuity, there was a 30% bonus that was offered. However, the bonus is only applicable to that protected income value account. It's never withdrawable as a lump sum. So if Mr. James wanted to cash out, or the technical term is surrender the policy, that bonus would not go into his hands. It's only used to grow that protected income value account. So he mainly purchased this annuity based on the trust of the advisor he was working with, and them telling him he had this 30% bonus, and therefore he should purchase this annuity because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because of the 30% bonus. And that's just entirely false. Now you'll see the bonus they're offering present day is 40%. So that same advisor is going around touting the 40% bonus to try to get people like Mr. James, who served their community and did their part to grow their money and commitment to their career. He's touting the same bonus to sway people to buy that one as well. So I hate that about it. The bonuses can be used appropriately. Don't get me wrong. It is growing a benefit account for income, but that's it. And Mr. James defined that his goals for this money was not income. He has a pension that covers his expenses. So anyhow, we're going to look at his statement next, and then maybe do some index analysis to see maybe how he should, if he decides to keep this annuity for the long term, how he should allocate those funds. And so we'll take a look at that now and get started. So here is Mr. James's most recent statement. To protect, I have his personal information removed. And so what are we looking at? Protected income value. They give a great summary on the statement. And to be honest with you guys, Allianz and gals, Allianz is a good company. They're not a bad company. It's not Allianz's fault. This is a decent product for the intended purpose it serves. It's not a bad product. Every individual situation is different, though, and not everybody has the same needs, and every annuity is not created equal. They're all designed to serve different intended purposes. And that's why you should be working with somebody that has access to every annuity company, every annuity product. Their education level is high in this subject matter, and they can help you compare and contrast the various hundreds of different annuities to help you find the right one for your situation. And we have no allegiance to any company in the country. We work with Allianz, we work with every company, but not all of them are created equal in terms of the intent behind the product design. So if someone comes to us for a legacy benefit goal, grow their money safely with no risk, this is not this wouldn't even come into the equation. I wouldn't show anyone this product because it's not designed for that. Anyhow, protected income value on the statement you'll see has grown after the 30% bonus and what little interest it's earned. The balance, which started at correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. James, is 519,000.
Correct, 519.
Okay, so 519,000 went in, and then you've had this for about a year, and that protected income value has grown to $691,303 after the 30% bonus and the one-time the interest credits that have been earned for the 1 year, which looks like a 2.38%, which is listed here on the statement. Okay. Now, the accumulation value, what is this? Well, when you buy an indexed annuity with an income benefit or an income rider, you essentially have two accounts that are falling underneath the same policy or the same contract number. You have what's called an accumulation account, and then you have what's called an income benefit account, or in this case, Allianz refers to that income benefit account as the protected income value, and the accumulation value is separate. So think of a T-chart, right? I take my clients through this exercise quite a bit. You have a T-chart. Draw it out on your piece of paper there if you're taking notes after you're watching this video. The left-hand side of the T-chart, title that account value. The right-hand side of the T-chart, title that income benefit. The account value on the left-hand side is your initial premium investment, plus any applicable bonuses if there are any, plus any indexed interest that has been earned over time, minus any income rider charges if there is a fee. In this case, there's no fee on their income rider, so we don't have to worry about that. But in order for that account value, or in this case, accumulation value to grow on that left-hand side of the T-chart, there has to be indexed interest. And then what this product, the Allianz 222, states is that every indexed interest that is earned that comes into that account value, the left-hand side of the T-chart, they're going to apply 150% multiplier and carry that interest credit over to the right-hand side, which is the protected income value. So again, if the indexed interest was earned for the year 5%, 7.5% is going over to the protected income value. Does that make sense, Mr. James?
Correct. Understand.
Okay.
I'm understand. I got my T-chart. I got everything, writing everything down.
Perfect. So in this case, looking over the last year, the accumulation value only earned 1.59%. So they'll take that 1.59% on average, give it the multiplier of 150%. So 2.38%. Wow, look at that. It matches. See my calculator?
Yes.
It matches up at the top here, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's the multiplier. So you did earn $16,119 in interest credits, but those were applied solely to the protected income value. Again, not withdrawable as a lump sum. It even states it right here. This value is used only for taking lifetime withdrawals and cannot be taken as a lump sum. It includes a 30% bonus and any interest bonuses. Interest bonuses, they're referring to interest credits. Okay. Says it one more time. To receive a protected income value, including any bonuses, you must take lifetime withdrawals. The protected income value is not available as a lump sum. So if Mr. James wants to cancel and surrender this contract, he's not going to surrender the $691,000. It's not withdrawable as a lump sum. The accumulation value is your surrender value after the surrender penalties. So that's why it's important to know what you're buying and what annuity is going to serve your goals and defined objectives near term and long term, so that you can avoid making a mistake and ultimately having to pay surrender penalties to get out of the annuity within 10 years. Now, if he waits after 10 years, he can get out of this annuity with no penalty. But who wants to wait 10 years and waste 10 years of time? You know, the time value of money over 10 years, even in an average bank CD, I mean, we're talking about 5% rates right now. He could get for 10 years, that's 50%, right?
Correct.
So that's a lot of money when you're talking about $500,000. So we understand the mechanics of the annuity now. So let's keep going down the statement. So again, talking about lifetime withdrawals, because that's the intended purpose behind this annuity. The Allianz 222 is to serve lifetime income. So it's given him, you know, the idea of how much his income would be. Well, because it has a 10-year mandatory waiting period, there's no time, or there's no income that can be activated, excuse me, at this time. Okay, so it's just saying, you know, there's nothing available for income at this time. But if you waited 10 years, then these numbers would change. There would be a withdrawal percentage highlighted here. There would be an annual income after the calculation. Protected income value multiplied by the withdrawal percentage, that would equal the annual income, either single or joint life. Summary of contract performance. So currently it looks like, and we need to figure out why, but Mr. James, it looks like you're 100% allocated now to the fixed bucket in this account. So in these indexed annuities, it's often times that there are, you know, the multitude of different index crediting strategies, but there are also fixed rate buckets that are annual renewable. So in this case, for this next cycle, you know, this next year, he's allocated 100% of his money to the fixed account, which is only paying 2.3%. Now, the fixed account does still earn the 150% multiplier. And so you'll see that the return potential on that fixed rate is going to be 3.45%. That's credited to that protected income value account only for income. His accumulation account, which is the left-hand side of the T chart, I know it shows on the right-hand side in this case, but for our exercise purposes, the current value, $527,638.91, that's his surrender value. That's how much he could cash out before penalties. And that's only going to grow at 2.3% this year. So do you know why it's allocated to the fixed account? Was that something you elected to do, or is that something the advisor did? Can you tell me more about that?
What happened was the advisor, I did not have the 1 year annual meeting with the advisor. He rolled it over to the fixed rate. And he didn't give me a reason why we went fixed compared to what I had last year, the 3 different buckets. So it wasn't explained to me the reason why.
Wow. Okay. So that's a whole nother subject. So, and I apologize again on his behalf. You know, I don't know the individual that set you up with this, and I apologize that you're having a less than satisfactory experience all around. But one of the differences in working with a subject matter expert on annuities like us at annuityassociation.com is we hold your hand to and through the buying process of the annuity. We help you understand annuities. We help raise your annuity IQ so you can make an informed and educated decision on which one is right. And by the time you're ready to purchase, you know why you're buying the one you're buying. And you're signing your name on the line with a lot of confidence. That is a key difference. And not only that, when we say to and through the buying process, it means for the life of the policy, as long as you own it. If you buy it from us, we're going to hold your hand every single year, get together and provide you an annual review, or what we like to call, an index strategy review. And we're going to discuss collectively how your annuity performed, how it's aligning with your goals, how the indexes performed, how the indexes that we have at our disposal to allocate to may perform in the future based on our analysis, and we'll make a collective decision on how we want to allocate your funds moving forward. So not only did this individual that sold Mr. James sell him or offer him the wrong product to begin with, based on his defined objectives being legacy and not income, he put him in an income annuity versus a legacy safe growth annuity. Not only that, but then he's not even willing to reach out to Mr. James around his anniversary date to schedule a review with him to help him understand his annuity, the performance, and how he should allocate moving forward. So all in all, this is a loss. Mr. James is on the losing end of the deal. You know, the agent got paid handsomely on this, and he's not even holding his end of the bargain, and that is helping Mr. James understand what he bought and how they should allocate moving forward. And I hate to hear that, because it puts a bad rep on our industry. It's a scar, and it's oftentimes this is the way it happens. It's not uncommon, and I hate that, and I apologize that that's your experience. But I will tell you that because of your willingness today to work with me and helping bring some light to this unfortunate event, I'm willing and committed to helping you with this policy moving forward. That's my commitment, to help, really at least try to earn back some of your trust on our overall industry.
Man, I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's the right thing to do, and that's my commitment moving forward. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if, I understand the idea of putting 100% to the fixed rate bucket. You know, it's usually only something we will look at doing if we feel that the next year of market environment is going to be very volatile and maybe even negative. And that could be the case, because, these crediting strategies, they only perform if the indexes are positive, obviously. And so if we are looking at this, your anniversary is September. So, September, the S&P, which is one of the indexes you have here, which the monthly sum index, that's only really used. I don't ever put anybody in that index strategy, to be honest with you, because it's only recommended to be used in an up market, because it's a monthly sum. So it means every single month that measurement of the S&P 500 is being monitored and measured. And so if you're having an up market every month, you're getting that cap, right? You're locking that cap in. The problem with the monthly sum crediting strategy is that you have one bad month, the negative performance is part of the calculation. Although your money's protected, it can never incur loss. The formula for the crediting strategy does include negatives. So let's say you have the cap. I don't know what the cap is on this one. I'd have to check it. Here, let's see if we can find it real quick. We'll come all the way down. Should have monthly sum cap. It doesn't give the renewals on what the strategies are, the par rates, and
Okay.
Let me see if it's in here. Hold on. Maybe we skipped it. Yeah, here they are. Okay. Is this them?
No zeros. No.
That's the percentage of change here. 5-year, 2-year, 5-year. Here we go. So index options renewing on September 14th. S&P 500 index, you go over monthly sum cap. So it's 1.6%. So what's that mean? So over a 12-month period, it's an annual point-to-point, starting point being the anniversary date to the next anniversary date being the ending point. Every single month, they're going to monitor the movement of the S&P 500. If the index goes up, every month, you receive a credit that goes into the calculation, not a credit to the account, but just a credit to the calculation of up to 1.6%. So if it goes up 2% in 1 month, the cap is 1.6, you get the cap.
Okay.
So let's say you go out, it's a whole year, so you have 12 months. Let's say you get 10 months of hitting that cap, 1.6, 1.6, 1.6. And now you've got 16% of potential interest credit. But we hit that bad bump in the road in that 11th month, and that cap, that index rather, goes down 20% in 1 month because we have this huge, massive market correction, which, probably won't happen realistically, but it can. And it has. March of 2020 with COVID, it went down over 20%. You get that one negative after 10 months of hitting the cap, and it's accumulated 16% now. That negative 20% goes into the calculation. So now you got 16% minus negative 20, you're -4. So you're probably not going to make that up the last month of that crediting period. And so therefore you get a 0 because your money's protected. You don't incur losses, but in that calculation, the negative is counted. And so in that example, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so it balances. Basically, the negative gonna take away from the positive. That's what it does.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And so because of that, that index is not one that I usually put in clients unless we just have a lot of confidence that the next 12 months, the markets are going to go up, 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 up.
Correct.
If you're in a volatile market, that's a horrible strategy because negative months count. So that's not one I'd ever put anybody in this type of market. So with that being said, you're in the fixed bucket. Not a bad play maybe, but you're only getting 2.3%. It's not anything to write home about. I do like the idea of I would have probably said, hey, we should probably stay in the PIMCO and this Bloomberg. Although I wouldn't go with the cap rate. I mean, this one's an annual point to point with a cap rate on the Bloomberg dynamic. We come down to that same page. And the cap rate is 3.25%. It's horrible. It's horrible.
That means I'm capped at 3 points. So if they'd have made 10, I was capped at 3.25.
Exactly. It's horrible. So the most you could get if it is 3.25. I don't mean to laugh, but it's not good.
And right now the rates are what, 5, 6? Last year maybe it was 4 and 5.
You can get a fixed rate annuity, a MIGA, multi-year guaranteed annuity, that'll guarantee 6% over the next 10 year up to 10 years. There's some that right now we've got a 3-year offer in 5.9. We've got a 5-year offer in 6.15. A 7-year offer in 6.15. So that's guaranteed. This thing's saying no matter what, the cap's 3.25. Horrible. Now, if I were to choose, if we had the opportunity to reallocate today, my recommendation, if this is the only option, this is the annuity that we have to keep, which you do, there's a surrender penalty right now. It's pretty lofty, I think, around 10%.
Correct.
Well, it doesn't mean it's probably not in your best interest to move it unless we can find a better alternative that a competing insurance company would be willing to take, because there is regulation around replacements on annuities. Some companies won't even take an annuity replacement if it's not more than 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
So we got to look at that. And then I would only look at a replacement if we could find a bonus product that applies a bonus to the accumulation value, not the income value, to help offset the losses that you're going to incur in moving this annuity. That's the only way we would do it. And even then, it's only a year old or so, so I don't even think we will do it unless we're at least 2 years old. So maybe next year we look at that.
Okay, September of next year. Okay.
So again, my commitment's to help you with this. So next September we'll get together and we'll decide what we want to do.
Yes, we will get together.
Yeah, we will, guaranteed. I'll put
yes, we will.
I'll put it on the calendar now when we wrap this up. All right. So, but to explain, if we were to reallocate today, if we had the opportunity, because you only have the opportunity to reallocate upon the anniversary. So we're 2 months past. We can't do anything about it now.
Okay.
I would at least look at the 95% participation rate strategy or the 90% PIMCO strategy, annual point to point. I would even maybe be pressed to look at these 2 or 5 year strategies, because the longer you commit to on the crediting term, the higher the participation rate is and the higher growth potential. I really like in Allianz, I am somewhat of an advocate for this 5 year strategy. Why? Because what's interesting about this, and it's a unique feature to Allianz, you have the ability, you have the flexibility to lock in these rates on these strategies. What does that mean? If you go into this 5 year strategy, whether it be this futures, daily risk control, or I like the Bloomberg or the PIMCO, those are the 2 I like in Allianz. The way this works is, let's say we did put you in this. You could keep your money in this bucket for 5 years. Every year that you achieve or stay in there, the par rate increases. So let's say you go out, you start it year 1, it's 125%. Year 2, it's 135, 45. What this means is that the 5 year crediting term is being measured, starting point to ending point. At any point in time within that 5 years, let's say in year 3, we get together that September, which would be 2026 from now. You and I get together and I'm like, hey, Mr. James, great news. The 5 year point to point that we're in for the Bloomberg Dynamic 2 index is up 25% for the 3 years, like 3 year total, right? So that's, 8% a year on average, if you were to break it annually. But we're up 25%. I think we should lock that in. And you say, what's that mean? I say, well, this annuity has a unique feature where you can lock. We can count that now. And if we lock that 25% in, we get 145% of it. Right?
Correct.
So you take 25% total raw performance over 3 years, multiplied by 145. That means we're getting a 36.25% interest credit applied to our accumulation account, not just the protected income value account, because remember, protected income value is going to get 150% multiplier. So 54% is going over there. Right?
Correct. And the 36 will go to my account value.
Exactly.
Okay, 36. Yeah.
So in doing this 5 year strategy, you get higher participation rates, which translates to higher growth potential. The nice thing is it still gives you flexibility to lock in the gain when you see fit. You can do it in the 2nd year on the anniversary, the 3rd year, the 4th year. You can roll it all the way out to the 5th year. But you have the flexibility. You're not locked in for all 5 years and have to keep it there and put the gains at risk of going down all for all 5 years. If you're happy with the gain in year 3, you lock it in. And then what happens is you start on that anniversary another 5 year period from there, from that point in time. That's the one I would probably put you in. So it helps working again with an expert. All I do is annuities. All our advisors, there's many advisors that work with us in our organization. I train them all. They all know this stuff like the back of their hand. This is all we do. Our company's called AnnuityAssociation.com. It's not ABC Investment Management. It's not Annuities, Life Insurance, Real Estate, LLC. It's AnnuityAssociation.com. That's all we do.
So the question I have now, because like you said, if we can't move it until next year, so right now I'll be stuck with the 2.3.
Yep. Yep. Unfortunately.
Okay. So you can't reallocate it now. You can't do no
No,
re-education now.
they only give a 21-day grace period on the anniversary to make the changes.
Okay.
So like if we come down to the statement here, there's a page that says, how do you want to allocate moving forward? Rate change, request to change allocations. Form must be received by the home office within 21 days after your anniversary.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that this advisor didn't get with you to provide his duty of an annual review, because you could have done that.
Correct. Okay. So my options I have is I got to wait it out or see if another insurance company will accept me with a participation bonus, some kind of bonus to offset the surrender fees.
Yeah, so what we would do in that case, and we can spend a couple minutes there and then we'll wrap this up. In the event we could find a company that would accept our replacement request, which is, there are mandates and guidelines about this. It's, a lot of companies won't replace an annuity that's not even 2 years old.
Okay.
So the first thing we would do, I'll show you. We want to make sure if we do spend time that we're, looking at the companies that will accept us.
Okay.
So we would come up here, we'd go to our suitability matrix. We would find the companies that will accept it. So here it is at the top, third column, prohibited. If contract being replaced is, here's Allianz, they won't accept one less than a year old. American Equity, less than a year old, declined. American Life, less than 1 year. Americo, less than 1 year. You're over a year, which we know. So we just want to make sure the companies would, here's Athene, any replacement, either full or partial of an annuity less than 2 years old will be declined. Okay. So we would find the companies that would be willing to work with us. So some of them are less than 2 years, some of them are less than a year.
Okay.
Once we know that, then what we would do is we'd come into our software that we use that houses every major annuity company and annuity product under their portfolio and suites. And we would come in and look at the products. We would come in here, go to our fixed indexed annuity library, the database. And then we're going to need to find a product that does offer a premium bonus. Premium bonus is in reference to the account value, the accumulation value, not the income value. And we would want to look at, has premium bonuses. So we can filter all the annuities that offer a bonus. Why do they offer bonuses? For this purpose. They offer bonuses to try to help people get out of bad annuities that have surrender penalties. That's
Okay.
the idea behind the premium bonus. That's, obviously that, and maybe persuade somebody, right, to buy one. But of the 99% of bonuses that are marketing fluff, there are the 1% outliers. And those are the ones that we would be looking at in this situation. So we know Athene won't take a contract less than 2 years old, a replacement. So we can't even look at them. Here's a product from Sentinel Security, has a 10% bonus. We could look at that. Now, let's see if they fall into this suitability guidelines. So now we're going to find Sentinel. Well, they're not even on here. Okay, I have to find another resource for Sentinel. Why are they not on here?
So if I wanted to go with Athene, I had to wait till my next calendar year, September of next year. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's, just as an example, not making recommendations on any one of these, but as of at this time, but let's just do the exercise. Okay, F&G, fidelity and guarantee. Let's see what they come up as. Full or partial replacements of life insurance or annuities less than 3 years old will be declined. So they're out. They're out. We can't even look at them. SILAC.
What about that? Go up. What about the 10 to 4? The Trenton. I saw the Trenton 14.
This one.
Yes, I just saw 14.
They've got a 5% bonus. So
That's
you're still going to incur a 5% loss there.
yes. Yes.
Let's see what else is on here. Theme. So this would be the exercise that we would do. I would probably say that we shouldn't even look at anything unless, you know, we're maybe 2 years old, because that's going to open up a better product offering,
Okay.
you know, an inventory to really look at more thoroughly. Here's Midland. They offer a 8% bonus. Let's take a look at Midland.
14 years. Okay. Premium.
Let's see if they're on here. They're not on here. Why aren't they on here? Okay.
So your best recommendation will wait till the second year when we have more offerings.
Yeah, and what I'll do too is I'll spend a little bit more time looking at this. I might even call some of these companies and tell them what's going on and see if they can make exceptions. Not always will they do that, but sometimes we can leverage relationships and say, hey, we do a lot of business here. It's in this person's best interest. Here's why. And there can be one-off cases where they'll approve it.
Okay. So would you recommend me extending to going to like a 14-year annuity compared to what I have a 10? Or stay at a 10?
No, I mean, that's just going to be the surrender term. Sometimes the rule of thumb there is that the longer term you do commit to, the higher the participation rates are on the underlying index crediting strategies. So that can translate to higher growth. But typically I like to stay within the 10-year range. But we'll weigh them all out. You know, we look at everything holistically.
Because I see a lot of 14s, that's why.
Yeah, that they're gonna the longer term surrender period products are gonna offer higher bonuses. Here's one that we could look at now, possibly, and just
say less than 1 year.
Yeah, less than 1 year security benefit, and that's a good product. They have a 9% bonus on there, so that would pretty much cover all of it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're at probably a 10% surrender, so you might maybe incur a -1%.
But then at the end of the day, it balances out on the end result.
Yeah, because you're going to get growth.
Good growth on
You know, let's look at the details. So if we come in here and we look at the accounts, even if we put you in the fixed bucket for the first year, you're getting 3.5% there. So you add the bonus 9 plus 3.5, 12.5. That's offsetting
the 10% what I lose transferring over.
Exactly. And you're still netting 2.5%, which is higher than the 222 fixed rate bucket now.
And also it's better because now I'll be going to my account value instead of my income value.
100% correct. And this product has it meets a lot of our criteria when it comes to looking at these accumulation oriented annuities for legacy and protected growth. It has a lot of different options to allocate towards, which is good. We have a blend of different diversified index strategies. They have a track record of performance. These are the back-tested returns of those various indexes. So this is the level of understanding and transparency and education that we give every one of our prospective clients and ongoing client relationships to analyze every index strategy, both back-tested returns and real-time performance. And you know, when you look at working with AnnuityAssociation.com, we really bring a lot of value to the table. And I would bet in the entire country, no one's offering their clients this level of transparency. And I know that because I shop all our competitors.
Okay.
So this would be one we should probably look at. It might be an option for us, but why don't we maybe book another call and spend an hour looking at the markets and seeing, and then by that time, I'll also maybe have some answers from some of the other insurance companies that would maybe consider taking this case on.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my friend, Mr. James, I appreciate your time. Let's get on the calendar. I'm going to stop our recording. Let's get on the calendar again, and maybe we can take a look at this in depth.